Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everyone who was involved in organizing this event, Stacy and Jesse and James. I do a fair bit of organizing in Tucson, so I know what goes into it, and I know that sometimes it's thankless work, but thank you so much for making this space exist and making a place for poetry and literature. Thank you. So I did my undergraduate here in Flagstaff, and as I was coming into town today, I was just reminded that, my grandfather actually lived in the Hotel Monte Vista in the 40s. And yeah, he was a truck driver for United Liquor, and he lived in the Monte V. And before that, my great-grandfather actually came to school here before NAU was NAU, and got a teaching degree. So I know, yeah. So I was happy to be reminded of that family history, and to be reminded of Flagstaff as one of my first loves. It really is, so it's great to be back. So here's my new book. The box was delivered at the Poetry Center this morning, right before I got into Shelley's truck, so I was happy to see it. It's a hybrid book, so it's part lyric essay. Am I too close to the mic? No? Okay. It's part lyric essay and part poem. And it concerns itself mostly with Joseph Smith, who was the founder and first prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is the church I grew up going to. And for me, it's really an attempt to unchurch and unmoor that history, that racist and misogynist history. I'm glad you're laughing. I'm in the right place then. Okay, so because it kind of all goes together, I'm going to read straight through. I am the bastard great-great-great-grandchild of Joseph Smith, in search of a text line, not a bloodline. I affirm the manner in which durability and transience are imposed upon the world of objects. I believe the imaginary takes place on a surface that is real and cannot be repeated. My dedication is no longer comprised of belief, redemption, conversion, fact. I dream of becoming anonymous, the electric library set past and future. My suspicions arose from a story told to me by my grandmother. Joseph Smith was a visitor in the home of her grandmother, Rebecca. I superimposed the idea of sex. Other motives were mingled with these as the work proceeded. The opinions which spring from the character and situation of the hero are by no means to be conceived as existing always in my own conviction, nor is any interference justly to be drawn from the following pages as prejudicing any philosophical or religious doctrine of whatever kind. My chief concern in this respect has been limited to avoiding the enervating effects of the novel of the present day, and to the exhibition of the amiableness of domestic affection and the excellence of universal virtue. I further probe the self-fulfilling fakery theory. If you can give your body a temperature, can you not give it the word of God? And that being the case, must we speak in degrees of impostorship? I am too organized to wander, too practical to pray in a way that wants answers. Perhaps this want from answers is in fact a pheromone. Perhaps this want of answers is indeed a pheromone. I want answers. In any given story, who is the fake? Is it the mother that does not protest enough and therefore fails to protect her daughter from the lies of the father? Is it her father, who we are not sure is lying in the first place? Is it the daughter herself, who could never know what her real interests are or what is set before her each morning? In this story, we never learn of the parents, of the so-called policies they set for themselves to govern the decisions that need to be made about the daughter. Where is their resentment? Since a lie does not belong to anyone, we can say it insists, or perhaps a better word, resides with those who love it. You don't have to believe a lie to think it true, But to love a lie is one of those rare instances of transformative love, so that what floats out before you, a hand, a pair of lips, can later betray. There are objects, people whose socially formed countenance leaks the lies they live with. For this daughter, it happened when she told her father, in front of everyone, that she did not paint the green canvas. The work the daughter had done, the thing the daughter had made, the vociferously intricate way she put her eye against the magnifying glass and shut down the better part of a day. And put away in your thoughts this other thing I tell you, what I dreamed in radio speech and what I record as actually happened. The summer of 2005, I lived in a trailer in the Sonoran Desert with a dog part husky, part German shepherd. The season was hot and rainy, and occasionally we amused ourselves with digging shallow holes in the shapes of our bodies to lie in and keep cool. During the course of our digging, we happened upon some fragments which excited in me a playful desire to translate. 2 other fragments were brought to me by the mongrel, one of which is a tale far more acceptable to the public than anything I can hope to produce. I have reconstructed the text that follows based on these fragments. It is Joseph Smith's Woo, work on Opusal, my title derived from a German catalog listing used to denote musical compositions surviving only as fragments. Translated from the double helix of our relation, here recovered from the dirt as the voice of the people speaking in the gift of modern speech as attested by the grammar of affirmation, is Joseph Smith's original. Let us attend. Of many wounds, pick this one. Between the bulrush of the depraved, a little log cabin just lobe. Inside, the neighbors smearing God songs in their conch-shelled ears. Before the next sound, silence from the stamen. Beside the walnuts sequestered in a wrinkled hutch, the town sucks this one meat. Until the breast-bare hill but chewed a deep affection for the rhyme drip. Of swamply dedication, the dereliction of pocket frogs punch through the night. Starry seance, but all cosmonauts swimming fetal. Fraulein demagoguing with uterine wine. Outside of wishing senators of purple pearls from off the jacket. If soppy geography shoulders her own defense. If unknown and unwise wheeled up wagons with enough flour for the go-ahead. Out of lawn, head west and sprinklerify each early residence. Off comes a record ribbed in suggestion, corrugated with opposition. On peacetime posters' lips, laconics reds and rights. To beacon the land, use leftover ink pots, an empty birthright. Gnashing men, necklace and abacus of each new rule. But trees to pulse and place as a poultice for poverty, which means nightgowns hover over the mouths of every should. Through a crotch-rot cemetery, after bathing suits kept on all day, a new skin, safer. Inside a child, a softer balm. A nautilus, one man's book expressed in fish. Because the rim party could descend into the canyon once they shot him. Because the ever-living liver mythifies trouble in tomb light. Off cambered backs comes bare knowledge. To split the mound like a coconut and tailor its lace. Of sorcery's bonnet, brother's betrayal. If had the baby dead means bury the blue thing in a boat ride. In a crate of oranges, maybe more solar systems. Each planet carried the same set of clouds in the rind. Heart, breath, line, lime, forthwith, ornament, wet, niche, feet, versatility, teeth, interval, head, ear, syllable, heart, art, cells, vessel, men, preferences, truth, new, I-ams, Rembrandt, replace, space, original, interval. The heart, by way of the breath to the hides, will be covered with copper there covers the shore, so the ships might easily be loaded with his marriage, his cooper, his fourth either no ornament or good to be the killer's footprint, it had to be made when the earth was to loan the marrow and set up shop in their proper as the woman stood, the weight of her body dislocated both feet. Blood-making stem cells appear to have similar degree of and have the ability to chunk cloth, which he held in his teeth. The river Nile periodically overflowed its banks and swept away the boundaries of every man's inheritance on its the head by way of the ear to the zebrafish will regrow fins, scales, spinal cord, and part of its heart. Doubt does not excise. Cells of the stump, bone, muscle, nerves become less distinct stem-like. The last painting depicted a collision between a steamer and a sailing vessel. Our vortexes fed up with your dispersals, reasonable chicken. Not to be a cipher in your ambient color Embrace a glittering phantom for a substantial Emma lived in the L-shaped building after he died, gutted and tabbed off by her new. Don't chop your stuff into separate and the bourgeoisie sweats rubber, makes a camp bed out of his most beautiful body parts the salamander can rip, because really Mormon set it down in a language that he himself did not prefer to save Eventually writers understand they must turn their backs on there is almost not an Because this book deserves a prayer, because this prayer is just what's left over, grief, not even cognizant of her spoon, God's gewgaws and gimcracks. We say, God, please. We say, why, God? And go to hell in a handbasket, God. We say, God, if you do just this, a basic blessing, a fortune. Finally, the snake won. It took all day for him to heft the salamander onto the shore in front of my pack and begin unlatching its jaws. I didn't stay for the finishment. I strapped on Sunday's shoes. I wanted your $1,000,000 bread loaf. I tried to teach my children wrongs rights. In this diagram, the heart is not listed. I begged for the trick, cross-hatching blisters a la Jesus Cristo, because grandmother took the Bible with father's calligraphy and tucked it into her casket. How does Mount Holyoke hold her tatters? Smart custard of a woman. Come, turn this body out like a pocket. And then my own child body leaving me in all liquid as memory nested in long black hair. Mother, sick herself, committed to a deathbed overlooking the avocado tree. Sister brought each fruit. 4 times I pulled the needle out. I watched a baby born. A man next to me groaned to a yellow sound. The sound, perhaps malaria. Book-bodied to pupa, pulp, papyri. The head a slice of tongue. Never sick again. Never that rill again. When did the wind publish the tumbleweed? Letter by letter, what is the next and the one after next? Suffering? An old Mormon trick? What did you carve out of the soap? On the snow-covered road, did you rescue the overturned truck? Father and daughter huddled toward death? Where is the valiance of salt? Why do we float? In what tar pit was the footprint? Would you like to buy a vowel? And are the descendant of Joseph Smith? And our descendant of the handcart company? And our descendant directly? How can I help you? Lava crumpled through the pines. Its gasoline monocle paved a prayer. The old house fastened with a collection of fossils. Ticket punched the taker's eye. Profit made another prison around campus's coke-eye welcome. Between book and burrito, birth control. Smeary Creek, skinny in snow melt's aim. A pedway stilted in ice. An old love who caters cobalt's taste, administers decibels, looks up sonnet's skirt. A ski hut lesson led down the white bunny. So many cul-de-sacs, the socket never zipped this hole. If promise never kept oneself, it was leak-front property. In kidney dishpans, another cardboard victim. Thinks curtains. A bike grave labia cut and brought, provided the ocean's oatmeal. Bay boy, by, lamed he, loft, shield from he defended, wickedness from 3, 10, 2 days. I went out from sinning, she called, he was unclean, he fulfilled, he hated, he lifted up, he cut, he gave, swelleth every eye. He broke in pieces, he was broken in pieces. He reigned, he made to reign. He was made to reign. He was unclean, pronounced. He was just, pronounced. He caused to shine, or it shined. Notwithstanding, or even to wit, seeing that in this, with honey, or that, or king, the mountains, the man who feedeth, none doubled, lamed he, a kind from he reigned, a seat from he fat, a place from to rise, wifedom from he was wife. Thank you. And this will be my last piece. Thank you again. It's been so lovely. A small crosswalk of sunlight has heated the room. Fill your jars and bowls with pond water. Commonality already knows us. The real question is, will I fling you? Blister pack of feet, belligerent biocode. Did we inherit these commonalities? In one picture I won't show you, real bullseye brain feed. The best time for digging money was in the heat of summer, when the sun caused the chests of money to rise to the top of the ground, but factors in like a party pre-core the earth. Thousands of dollars ungrown, unstapled from the fertile luck. Get by mime who churched to liberalize the back-turning of men's white eyeballs. We credit much of her dittiness with the line who mended her. In this subtle way, your troubles get forced into your therapist's mold, regardless of what you say. Without straws, this Paris, as it could hold Harris. It is by the prayers of the righteous that you are spared bankruptture and other related combs to comma. I come from a long line of narrative poets. I come to suck your blood.